Godzilla, King of the Monsters. This is the next installment in my Monsterverse series of reviews leading up to Godzilla X Kong Extra Large XL. I don't know where it's going with that joke, but Godzilla, King of the Monsters. I have an interesting story with this movie. So I saw Godzilla 2014 in theaters. I didn't really rewatch it a whole lot leading up to this movie. But one of my biggest problems with that movie, as long as a lot of people's problems, was not enough Godzilla in the movie. Now I don't really care too much about that. In retrospect, I think that movie works the way it is. But I saw the trailers for this movie. The fucking cinematography of these action scenes blew my mind in the trailers. How all these monsters look. I was like, fuck yeah, let's get this movie. Went to go see the movie. Movie came out, and I fell asleep. I thought I was sick, but I wasn't sick. I was just really bored by the movie. And I never fall asleep through movies, guys. So then I tried to watch it at home. Fell asleep again. So this is the first time I've actually been able to sit down and actually watch the whole movie and get through it. And I like this movie a lot more. It does have some of those same problems I remember, but I do like this movie a lot more. First of all, I feel like this movie is the closest we will get to a Japanese Godzilla movie in style in an American movie, where the monsters are a force of nature, that they actually have a purpose to their stories and what they're doing here. There's a whole backstory that they give about the monsters and things like that. That actually explains kind of what the whole deal is behind them. And that's interesting. I love all that stuff, right? So that's really cool to see. And then you have you have that in the movie, and that's really cool. So all the monster stuff is great. The cinematography of those action sequences, the actual effects on those action sequences look incredible. The guy who goes, "Let them fight." I apologize, I'm forgetting that character's name. He's still strong as ever, and he has a great badass moment in the movie. And yeah, other than that, the biggest problem with this movie is these human characters have just atrocious dialogue. They're incredibly boring, and it's so weird because this movie, when you watch the trailers for this movie, oh yeah, they're like, fuck yeah, there's gonna be a bunch of monsters, you're gonna get Godzilla battling it out with them, and you're gonna get all that cool shit. And then you watch this movie, and you're like, you get that, definitely, but you also, I would say, get equal time with the humans. And I really don't give a shit about these human characters. I don't know why we have to focus on human characters if you aren't going to bother to make them interesting. Godzilla v. Kong, that was one of the complaints some people had with that. It's like, there need to be a little bit more human in that movie. And I'm like, well, no, because they didn't do a good job of making those fucking characters interesting. If they do a good job making it interesting, then we can talk about that. But they don't really ever do that. So I'd rather just it be the monster story, and I think they did a great job with that here. Of the actual monster side of thing, but the human stuff is just shit. So overall, I think it's a mixed bag of a movie, but still a fun movie. It's got great action sequences, and yeah, I think it's a pretty fun movie.